Hello and welcome to another edition of Teachers Prepared. Today we are talking about the ELA Snapshot, in which we took part in a violence workshop at the Brisbane Youth Services.
We started the day making and eating breakfast with the youth that were going to participate in the AVP. This allowed us to get to know each other and just have a chat.
After that we sat down as a group and laid down some ground rules. These rules included respect each other, leave when necessary, and what is said in the circle stays in the circle, and many others.
We are going to look at this ELA from two aspects. Firstly, the snapshot as a learning experience, and secondly, the AVP in regards to the teaching practices.
So, follow us and we'll tell you more. Starting the day with breakfast was an incredibly effective way to create a relaxed and comfortable atmosphere straight from the start. The first game we did was an icebreaker, a simple ball game that allowed us to learn each other's names. The second game we did in the middle of the workshop, a stress reliever of sorts. It was a simple game where we held each other's hands and passed the hula hoop all the way around the circle. It was a simple game that allowed us to have a bit of a break from the really serious discussion. The facilitators did a great job making everybody comfortable by really coming down to our level. They adjusted how they act and speak, and chose to share stories that the participants could really relate to. You don't know what it's like to hear a teacher swear for the first time. Sharing stories obviously requires an environment of trust and respect. The ground rules certainly went a long way with this, and the first thing we shared, which was something that nobody knows about you, was a good way to get the discussion started. The workshop was built around storytelling and discussion. The facilitators would share a story of their own to get things started and to show what our stories were meant to include. The Mandela model was used as a starting point to think of ways to avoid violence in complicated situations. We, the participants, would first think of a story that ended badly, and then, with the Mandela model in mind, think of a situation where we use one of the items of the Mandela model to solve a situation without violence. We were also asked to think about thoughts and feelings behind those experiences. This use of storytelling allows us to connect the subject of the workshop to our personal experiences. This allows us to not only get more involved with the subject, but also learn why we should know what we are learning. This is often a problem in high school with students. They don't often know why they should learn this, then they lose interest, and eventually they just stop learning altogether. The facilitators would guide the stories and discussion in the direction that they wanted to go. Effectively, we, the participants, would supply all the information that the teacher would need to teach. This aids in scaffolding, in taking what the student knows and using that to get where the teacher wants the lesson to go. Storytelling in the classroom not only sparks an interest in the students, but also supplies the data for the learning exercise.
In a program such as AVQ, the focus is on providing a unique and beneficial approach to student learning. The program is orchestrated in a way that the benefits intentionally benefit both the student and the participants of the snapshot. This careful balancing act of orchestrating a learning experience that has benefits for both parties is what distinguishes it as a service learning program. Experiences within this service learning that exemplified the benefits for the student is the pre- and post surveys. To quote Jimmy Bursall, these surveys were reflective techniques that were utilised to unpack the experience and explore the issues that underpin both the service and the curriculum. As well as highlighting the importance of reflective techniques, the snapshot also allowed an embodiment of the theory of transformative learning, in which changes in how you view the world and how you understand yourself as a person have the transformative potential through this learning experience. There were several other vital steps that were carefully orchestrated to ensure that we as participants gained benefits of this learning experience. The breakfast that we prepared enabled us foremostly a relaxed way to integrate into our surroundings. There is always something so comforting about food. So the ability to prepare a meal for individuals who do not have ready access to food gave Alex, Nadine and I a purpose when we first arrived and provided the benefit of a meal to the other participants. In exploring the limitations of this experimental learning activity, the amount of time and hard work that goes into these snapshots by the facilitators cannot be underestimated. At the very core of this service learning are the participants of the AVQ, and if the participants no longer wish or cannot participate on that day, the snapshot will have to be postponed. In a very personal reflection on the limitations of this as a service learning activity is that if someone wishes to partake, they must be prepared to be flexible and attempt to fully utilise this activity as a chance to have a concrete experience of which they can reflect upon and conceptualise.